Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and I'm kind of working off the Clarkson version for this. And it starts out with some really cool intro licks where you can play 3rd fret on the high E, 2nd fret on the high E, open E, 3rd on the B, 1st fret on the B, open B, 2nd on the G, open B, and then open B, and then 2nd on the G, open G, 1st fret on the B, open B, 2nd on the G, open G, and then 4th fret on the D string. And then there's this cool little lick where I'm kind of stealing some stuff from Some of the Winds, where you play open B string and kind of do a hammer on the 1st fret, 2nd fret, and then 3rd fret. So it's kind of a triple hammer-on idea. So where you go 0, 1, 2, 3, all on the B string. So all together, you got that 3, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. Or you could add basses to that and kind of have the low E on the 3rd fret when you start it off, and then open E's together, and then the 3, and then 3 and 1 together, open B, open D with the 2nd on the G, open B, 3rd on the low E, open B, and then open E with the 2 on the G, open G, and then open with A with 1st on the B for that 1, 0, 2, 0, and then you could add 5th on the A with the 4th fret on the D, and then have that 1, 2, 3 lick at the end. So you may want to kind of play around with that if that's kind of your intro. I was kind of digging on those licks. So you may want to kind of play around with some of those to kind of intro the tune. And then from there, the chords that would back that up would start on a G major chord. When we play G major, 1st finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E string 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. And you may also want to think about putting the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. That's another way you can kind of work that G major through the tune. And then from the G, we'd be going to E minor, and then we play E minor. 1st finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret, and if you strum all those together, it sounds a E minor chord. Or you could add in the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E string 3rd. That's another way you could play your E minor, is the E minor 7. And then from the E minor, we'll be going to an A minor chord. Play A minor. 1st finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the G string 2nd fret. And if you strum the A or all the strings, that sounds an A minor chord. Now you may also want to think about something called A7 sus, where you do the 1st finger on the D 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, and a pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds an A7 sus, and it sounds really cool and happy. And then from the A7 sus, we'll be going to a D major chord, and we play D major. 1st finger goes to the G on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret. If you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord. Now you may also want to think about kind of lifting off the 2nd finger at different points of the tune, or adding in the pinky on the high E string to kind of get some cool little suspended licks. So D sus 2, or kind of if you add the pinky, that's a D sus. And then from there, then we kind of start that over again, that G, E minor. Oh, but on the intro, actually, it kind of sounds like we do a C major chord, actually, instead of that 1st A minor. And we play C major. 1st finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the A string 3rd fret, and if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really happy. And you may also want to think about something called C major 9, where you do the 1st finger on the D string 2nd, 2nd finger on the A string 3rd, 3rd on the B string 3rd, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major 9. So through that intro part, if you wanted to just back it up with chords, you'd have G, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, A minor, D major, and then we kind of go into our verse part, which kind of starts with that same progression. We got that G, E minor, but then we go to A minor, D, G, E minor, A minor, D, G, E minor, C major, with an A minor, but then we go to a B7 chord, and we play B7. 1st finger goes to the D on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the A string 2nd fret, third finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and the pinky on the high E string, 2nd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, it sounds a B7 chord and it sounds really nasty, but it helps point to E minor, and then an A minor, and A minor helps point to D, kind of through that first verse. Now you may want to kind of work this a couple different ways, actually, strum pattern wise. And through this part, actually, one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 is down, down, up, up, down, up, which you can kind of work at a really slow pace, kind of G, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up. Now the weird part is a lot of that verse though is going to half that, so you may just want to work it down, down, up through that part. G, down, up, E minor, down, up, A minor, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, E minor, down, up, A minor, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, E minor, down, up, C, down, up, A minor, down, up, B7, down, up, E minor, down, up, A minor, down, up, D, down, up. And then through that, or from there, we go into our next verse. And to the very end now, we got a couple chords that kind of get mixed up. And at the very end, you may want to go from a G major to a G7 chord at the very end of that 2nd verse. And we play G7. First finger goes to the high E on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the A string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the low E string, 3rd fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds a G7 chord, which can kind of help lead into kind of our first bridge. Now through that part though, something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. So instead of doing just the down, down, up, you could do kind of a bass down, up on those chords. So on the G you'd have the low E for the bass. On the E minor you'd have low E for the bass. On the A minor you'd have the A for the bass. On the C you'd have the A for the bass. And on the B7 we'd have the A for the bass. And then on the D you'd have the D for the bass. So if we tried kind of our 2nd verse with the bass down, up, we'd have G with low E bass, down, up, E minor, down, up, A minor, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, E minor, down, up, A minor, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, E minor, down, up, C, down, up, B7, down, up, E minor, and then we actually get to do the whole pattern. If we go to the G and then G7, and then from there, then we go into kind of a bridge part where we got kind of a C major, and then a G major, and then an A minor, D major, and then a G major, and then we go into a really crazy cool little bridge tag. But if we try our strum pattern through the bridge, you'd have the C, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, A minor, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, down, up. If you added basses to that, you'd have C with an A bass, G with low E bass, A minor with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass. And then from there, then we go into a bridge tag. And our bridge tag starts on a C sharp minor chord, where you may want to do this as a 4th fret bar, 2nd finger on the B string, 5th fret, 3rd finger on the D string on the 6th fret, and the pinky on the G string, 6th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C sharp minor chord that sounds really sad. And you may also want to kind of make that a smaller C sharp minor, where you could do 1st finger on the high E 4th fret, 2nd finger on the B string 5th, 3rd finger on the G string 6th fret, and if you strum the G string, B string, and E string, that sounds a little C sharp minor. And then from there, then we go to an F sharp major chord. We play F sharp major or F sharp 7. You do a 1st finger across the entire 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the A string 4th fret, pinky on the D string 4th fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds an F sharp major. You may also want to think about lifting off the pinky and making that an F sharp 7. Or if you want to avoid the bars, you can do 1st finger on the B string 1st fret, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the D string on the 4th fret, and kind of strum just the D string to the high E string, and that's another way you can play your F sharp 7. And then from the F sharp, we're going to be going to a B minor chord, which you could do as a 2nd fret bar, 2nd finger on the B string 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the D string 4th fret, pinky on the G string 4th fret. So same shape we were doing for C sharp minor, but now on 2nd fret. And then, or you could use a substitute for that called B minor 7. Or you do 1st finger on the A string 2nd, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E string 2nd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a B minor 7. And then from the B minor, we go to an E major chord. When we play E major, 1st finger goes to the G on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the A string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the D string 2nd fret. If If you strum all those together, that sounds like E major chord, and it sounds really happy. You may also want to lift off the third finger and make that an E7 chord, and then that kind of helps point to an A major chord. You may play A major. First finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to kind of lift off the 2nd finger of that and make it an A7 chord. It sounds really nasty. And then from there we go to our D major chord, and then we go to a D7 chord. Or if you want to make this kind of cool, crazy punch at the end, you do first finger on the B string 1st fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the high E string 2nd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D7 chord, and it sounds really nasty. So it's a crazy little bridge. I guess if you were playing it out, actually you could just leave this part out if you wanted to. But you'd have C sharp minor, F sharp, B minor, E, A7, D, D7. Or you could add basses to that. I have C sharp minor with an A bass, F sharp with a low E bass, D minor with an A bass, E with a low E bass, A with an A bass, A7 with an A bass, D with a D bass, D7 with a D bass. There, then we'd be going into our next verse. So if we kind of trod that way with kind of our bass down up idea, we have G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, A minor with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, A minor with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, C with an A bass, A minor with an A bass, E minor with low E bass, G with low E bass, G7 with low E bass. And then from there, then we'll be going into our chorus part, which kind of mixes up a lot of those things. So we have C with an A bass, down, up, down, A minor with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass. And then from there, then we kind of go back into kind of a little piece of our intro. Now another way you may want to kind of play around with it through the song is doing this finger style. And if you're kind of interested in that, the thumb kind of becomes your bass player for the E and the A and the D string. Index finger can kind of lock into the G string, middle finger on the B string, ring finger on the high E string. And one really easy arpeggio to start with, a broken chord with the right hand, is to do kind of a bass G, B, E, but I'm kind of doing it thumb, index, middle, ring. So that can be a cool way to kind of work it actually too. So we tried that through that intro, and you could just bring back the intro licks, but you'd have G, E minor with low E bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, A minor with an A bass, D with a D bass. And then from there, then we go into kind of our last verse. So we'd have our G, E minor, A minor with A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, A minor with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, C with an A bass, P7 with an A bass, E minor, G with low E bass, G7 with low E bass. And then from there, then we go into our chorus part. So on our last chorus, we got C, A minor, D, G, C. Oh, and we kind of have this extended part. So on that last part, on that last G, you got kind of G twice, C twice. You might want to kind of slow down a little bit, kind of put some expression into that, and then you're waiting, and then it's a big G chord. But that's the basics of how you could strum through and kind of easily fingerstyle through the Kelly Clarkson version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And please do have yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Good luck!